able to hear you, even though the audio is on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh yes, it's we're able to hear you. That's the voice is a little low. No, Prabhu, I think we are not able to hear you anymore.
Huh? No, he's speaking. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. We can hear you now.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much for inviting me to your the temple of Radha Gopi Vallabha. Vanamali Prabhu is there. Vanamali
Yes, Prabhu.
Das.
Yes, Prabhu. Vanamali
He's there.
Das. I'm there. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So give my humble obeisances. So we can yeah, okay, we speak about deities and little thing about Radha Gopi Vallabha. You are before me now.
Yeah, you can see the
And they
deities
look
now.
exactly like
Chota Radha.
A translation has to go on or anything? I'll just speak in English.
No, there is no translation required. You can directly English.
Okay. Yeah, I can we get a little bit more close up on Radha Vanamali? Gopi, yeah.
I can. We have. Can you show the today's deities pictures so that will be more closer? Close-ups.
Yes, Prabhu. I'm doing that.
Yeah, just show them. Or maybe in the past, whatever we have the pictures, you can show them.
Anyway, I can see. They're very much like Radha Madhava and Mayapur, the small deities. These are Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gopijan Vallabh. Yeah. Very, very similar to Radha Madhava and Mayapur. Because these deities were given to Srila Prabhupada when he was in Vrindavan. And one life member, Mr. Dalmia, he gave Prabhupada 3 sets of deities from the same mold. And one set Prabhupada sent to Boston. That was Gopi Vanavala. Berkeley. And the other set, then Prabhupada kept with him in India. This was the year of that Prabhupada wanted to form a world singing party and taking devotees with them, most Americans at that time. And Prabhupada wanted a worldwide Sankirtan party, which he started, and it did start, and it went around India, and it was very successful. You can see in the old Hare Krishna film, the old movie, you can see the ecstasy of that that place, especially when they're in Surat and all the flower garlands and kirtan. You just see so much ecstasy was there. And Radha Gopi Vallabha went to Boston, but I never heard anything after that about them. I don't know where they were initiated, who gave them, when they got their names. But because they are from the same mold, they can be considered god brothers, god sisters, Radha Madhava, because they come from the same mold. And anyway, Radha's history was that they stayed on that program, worldwide program, and when Prabhupada was in Gorakhpur, he was chanting Jai Radha Madhava to these deities. And he went into an ecstasy. This description is also in the songbook, it's called songbook, on the translation of Radha Madhava. And then after some time, he came external again. And Srila Prabhupada said, this is a picture of Vrindavan, this song. He said, everything is here, Radha Madhava here, Govardhan is here, Jamuna. That's such a nice song. And we like to think that was like the installation. And we like to think that from that time on, that Prabhupada chanted Jai Radha Madhava every time he gave Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is even the standard today. The devotees generally always chant Jai Radha Madhava. So actually this happened twice, 2 times for once in the Allahabad and once in Gorakhpur. And he did the same, he went into eternal ecstasy. So, yeah. So from Vrindavan, it's all separate. It's traveling Sankirtan party went to all around India, South India, and then they came back to Calcutta, and Prabhupada said they should stay here now. Radha Madhava should stay here in Calcutta. So then they were on the altar there with Radha Govinda in Calcutta, and then the first International Society for Krishna Consciousness Gopurnima festival was just about to take place in March of 1972, and Radha Madhava bought the devotees bought the Radha Madhava deities from Calcutta to Mayapur. They had a pandal there because there was no other constructions. They made a pandal, like a tent thing. And the people bought Radha Madhava from Calcutta temple because they were like a good size, you could see them. But in India at that time, there's only 2 or 3 temples, I think. There wasn't many deities. So they brought Radha Madhava to Mayapur and celebrated the Gopurnima festival. It was a big success. About 70 devotees, Americans. This was big for India. Nobody has seen such a large gathering of Western Vaishnavas with tilaks and sannyasis and things like that. So it was a big success. And then at that time also Prabhupada climbed down the hole and laid the foundation Anantadev for the TOVP, the Vedic Temple of Planetarium. He laid the foundation, Prabhupada himself climbed down the hole. I remember distinctly how he was looking down the hole, and one of his godbrothers was down there. It was probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 foot or something deep. And there was a rickety old bamboo ladder there. And Prabhupada was on top, and he was giving some instructions to do this, do this. Then he decided to go down inside himself. The way he did it, he just kind of, very nimble, like a little elf, and nimbly jumped from one ladder and jumped down in 2 little jumps. He was he's so youthful and young. Anyway, it was a big success. All the devotees went back to their countries. And Sri Prabhupada asked, where is he? Madhava deity. And devotees all in the trunk. The Prabhupada going to carry them back to Calcutta. And Prabhupada said, no. He said, now they're here. They should stay here. They shouldn't leave. Prabhupada, where will they stay? He said, where will you stay? We only have this Bhajankuti was there. Is that true? We only have that. It's the only building here. He said, that's all right. They can stay there until we build a new temple. So Prabhupada was staying in the Bhajankuti. Can you hear me?
No, we are losing.
Can you hear me?
No, you're cutting off, Prabhu. The connection is cutting off.
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu. Now it is. No,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So later on in the year, at the end of 1972, Prabhupada was given some land in Hyderabad. And he wanted to start a center there. And so the devotees went and they made a pandal, but we didn't have any deities. So the devotees said, well, we can take the deities from Mayapur, they're a good size. Be able to see them because thousands of people will come for these pandal programs. So there's absolutely no one would go to Mayapur in those days. Go Purnima and 1 or 2 festivals, July. So there's nobody coming to Mayapur, so that we can take the Radha Madhava from Mayapur, and they can give it. They say we'll give to Jananivas. He can take the small deities in Calcutta, 6 inches, Radha Gopinath, very small. They can sit on the altar until Radha Madhava come back. Anyway, when the program started and Prabhupada went to the deities, he paid his obeisances and he said, who are these deities? I said, it's Radha Madhava Srila Prabhupada. He said, from Mayapur? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. So I told you not to bring those deities that shouldn't leave Mayapur. I told you they shouldn't leave Mayapur. And when they go back, they should stay there. They shouldn't leave. So, this is history. Because Jayadeva Goswami, the great poet, Das Avatar Srotam, Jaya Jagadishwari, we are chanting every day. He was living here actually at Balal Digi, Pritukunda, in Mayapur, just before you reach the next to the Chaitanya Mat. behind the Chaitanya Mat, there's a big Haribol.
You hear us, right?
Yeah, Prabhu, yes, it's somehow like, some at times your voice gets cut off.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah, that place is Balaldigi. It's right next to the Radha Kunda. Anyway, Jayadeva Goswami, he was living there on the banks of Balaldigi. Balaldigi. Digi means long pond. So Jayadeva, he was the pundit for King Lakshman Sen, who was occupying part of Bengal at that time. He was the king. And Jayadeva Goswami was the court pundit for King Lakshman Sen. And he wrote in one of his writings or teachings that he started talking about how there's going to be a spiritual city manifested here. And yeah, a devotional city will be manifested. And the predominating deities of an astonishing temple will be there. It's an astonishing temple. And the predominating deities there will be known as Radha Madhava. Haribo. So this is probably, there's a storm coming up. And it blows the current.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think, yeah.
There's
They can hear us.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. There's a storm brewing up here in Mayapur. And it blows the lights out every time. Anyway, this is the vision of the chariot. How Srila Prabhupada wanted those deities to stay in Mayapur. He named them Radha Madhava when he sang the song to them. And yeah, so this is the parampara. We may not understand how these things are happening, but we can serve the great devotees who are conscious of the transcendental arrangements of the Lord. Of course, this astonishing temple is the TOVP. So this is the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vedic temple of the Vedic planetarium. Yeah, so it was Sri Jiva that revealed to Nityananda Prabhu by Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu revealed to Jiva Goswami on Prikram. And Jiva Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur revealed in the Navadip Dham Mahatmya under the instructions of Jananivas, whom he said, they are my gurus. They had told me to write these things. They have told me to reveal the Dham. So, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started to manifest the Dham practically with temples and things like that. And our Srila Prabhupada fulfilled that vision of the of the temple. And now it's halfway finished or more. And so all these predictions are coming true. Right now they're all happening. So Prabhupada was taking darshan of one of the small Radha Madhava, and he said, these deities are dancing. We couldn't see, but Prabhupada said, these deities are dancing. And Prabhupada said, well, you see how Srimati Radharani is? She's like this, she's holding her hand like that. Most deities, especially small deities. This is a tumbler mudra. They put the tumbler in these two fingers and they offer to the mouth of Krishna. So Prabhupada said, when Radharani is like that, she's offering something to Krishna. Her hand is either like that or open. And another pose, she is like that. She's giving her ashirvad to the devotees. And Prabhupada said, when she's like this, offering something directly to Krishna, like pan, then Krishna, he can never leave. But when he's giving ashirvad, Krishna can leave because he's got one eye on devotees. But the other one, she's offering something, she has two eyes on Krishna. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada told me one time, or he asked me, how you are serving the deities then? What process? And we bathe the deities, Ganga, and we polish them with the mud, Ganga mati, very soft mud from the Ganga. We polish the brass deity of Radha Madhava. And we bathe them, then we dry them with towel. And then and Prabhupada stopped me, he said, no, he said, yes. He said, at this point, he said, you should offer tulasi to the lotus feet of Krishna. But this you don't find in the Archana Padatis, the deity worship books. Offering of tulsi comes after you when you've dressed and bathed and put scents and flowers. And then at that time you put tulsi. But Prabhupada, he said, when Krishna was taken bath and tried to lay his naked, what's the first thing he offers? You offer to him, that is tulsi. Tulsi Pada Bhakti, we know as Bhakti Devi. Tulsi Devi. Tulsi Devi. The Prabhupada said, yes, at that time, the first offering to Krishna will be Bhakti. That's why I interpreted it. And he said, do you offer any mantras? What mantras you are offering? I said, well, we chant Chintamani prayers, Prabhupada. This is the only prayers we had practically in that time. And I said, oh, usually chant the Gayatri, the Gayatri first. And Prabhupada said, oh, Gayatri, Om. Haribol, Om is there.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Very well.
Please continue.
So, Prabhupada was sitting on the veranda of the bhajan kutir. The Chanamrita to him and offered him Chanamrita. And Prabhupada just put his head right back and opened his mouth. And he let me put the Chanamrita in his mouth. And Prabhupada, he was everything. He was like our God. He was everything. And now he's kind of acting like a little baby as he's dependently. These different moods Prabhupada used to manifest. Co-brother with him also. His co-brother did the same thing. And Prabhupada came first time he took Chanamrita. I poured in his hand and he took Chanamrita and he said, "Not sweet enough." I said, "Oh, Prabhupada likes sweet." So the next day I thought I'd put 2 spoons. First day I put 1 spoon. So I thought he likes sweet, so I put 2 spoons. I put 3 spoons. He likes it sweet. And the next day he came and he took the Chanamrita. Too sweet. So the next day I put 2 spoonfuls. And the next day I offered him 2 spoonfuls of sugar inside. Okay. Prabhupada ki. And one time we were attacked by dacoits. Dacoits, they're kind of ruthless. A thief will come and steal something in the middle of the night stealthily. But the dacoits are different. They're just coming, making a lot of noise, throwing bombs. They have these handmade bombs that explode on impact. Around, and they got axes, just smashing the locks off the doors and things with axes. And and they stole Radharani. She was their goal. Actually, they thought she was gold, said gold. So she was the target. They contacted some astrologers. And the astrologer said, yes, there's some gold. It means the deities are made of Ashtatattva, or 8 types of metals. 8 types of metals. And one of them is gold, but they just put a little token gold generally. But the astrologer, he detected, yes, gold, so they thought solid gold. So she was the target. And that was the time, if you know Raghav Pandit Maharaj, he has no leg there because they threw a bomb on his leg, blew his leg off. He was so brave. When the dacoits were coming with all arms, with all kinds of weapons, and he was just running towards there, picking up some stones and throwing it. He was so out of his body consciousness. But he risked everything for Srimati Radharani. We managed to get her back after a couple of days, but she was damaged. And So we have to get a new deity of Radharani. So somebody went to Jaipur. Vrindavan. And it was the Motiwala, the Shilpi. He had just made this set of deities from the same mold as Radha Gopichandra and Radha Madhava. He just freshly made. The devotees, now I want these deities, they're exactly the same. So I've made these one Mayavadi ashram, and they wanted, oh, no, you have to give these deities. So he gave the deities of Radharani and Madhava. So they were installed along with Krishna. Now that they're on the altar now, and the older deities that got damaged, we still had them. They're actually pleased. It's because it was woven in theft. It's in the custody of the police. But anyway, we keep it. We keep it. Anyway, very scary time. I was in the deity room. There's two rooms. The deity room, and behind it was an old deity room. And I used to sleep there. I was sleeping all there when all these dacoits come, about 30 dacoits. They get a bit drunk and they start shouting and throwing weapons and bombs. And then they came in the back room, which didn't even have a lock on it. And I thought, what am I going to do? I thought I could sit in meditation, light a candle and sit in meditation. But I thought, these kind of people coming at 1 o'clock in the morning throwing bombs are not going to be very easy to flatter and please. So then there was on the wall a backdrop. So I got behind the backdrop. My feet were sticking out the front, and there was only about 18 inches to get past there, and they were walking backwards and forwards. They didn't tread on my feet or anything like that. Luckily, they didn't see me there. But Radha Madhava saved me from that very dangerous situation. Radha Madhava saved us. And the leader of that gang, I think his name may be Nekram Sheikh or something like that. He was because I went to the police station. They called me to the police station for some identify, which was about 10 years ago. Years and years after the incident. And I had to adjourn the meeting because the hearing, because there was only, out of those 30 dacoits, only 2 were left living in it right now. And the other one in this prison was in another prison. He had just got put in prison for performing another dacoity in another village somewhere else. So they have a very dangerous occupation. So there was only and you usually have a little celebration. They drink some wine or something for their successful dacoity. Anyway, he was a bit tipsy, and he was cycling down the Krishnanagar High Road on his bicycle, and the state bus coming smeared him all the way down there. Krishnanagar High Road, that was the fate of all that gang. They all been killed off.
I think we lost him. As Prabhu told, there is a storm in Mayapur. Maybe because of that, we are losing him, and also the voice quality is a little bad. Hopefully, this time when he connects, it will be better. So those who have joined online, we still have.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear. It's cutting in and out.
Okay. Yeah, once time it was a Govardhan Puja. We built a big mountain of rice, not rice, halwa. And I think it was the first time we celebrated Govardhan Puja. So we made a mountain of halwa and puris and offered to Radha Madhava. And then afterwards we were distributing the prasadam, and they were mostly Muslim workers, but we were still building the conch building at that time. So they were mostly the Muslim workers at the time, but they were also coming. And they were bowing. Bhavananda said, bow down and take the prasadam. So the Muslims were coming in, bowing down. It looked like they were doing their namas, and then they would get handfuls that were halwa and puri. They like that, so they. And the kirtan was very ecstatic. We were accommodating the deities of Radha Madhava. And inside the deities from Radha Madhava themselves, these like spiraling rays of colored lights were emanating from their bodies. And I stopped and what am I seeing? And Pangatangi was doing prikram, the kirtan was doing prikram. And I said, Pangatangi, you can see. And I looked, yeah, the lights are spiraling. Kind of a mystical thing. I guess Krishna liked it. It was the first time we observed the ceremony of Govardhan Puja. Showing us something. Anyway. Anyway, that's kind of the history of Radha Madhava, and they had an exciting time living in constructions in Mayapur for years and years. But soon they'll be moving in their new temple. And yeah, hopefully the whole world situation will settle down and we can move them into the TOEP and start a new era for the golden age of Kali Yuga, this 10,000 years. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Are there any questions? I don't have much time to hear. Do you have any questions you want to ask?
Yes. Devotees, please
Hold
unmute
on.
yourself. Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you. Devotees, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask the questions.
He's asking if they have any questions. I had a question. When Gopi Janabala installed, where and when?
It was,
You know the
they were,
history?
yeah.
The Gopi
Prabhu,
Baba, Radha Gopi Baba?
yeah. They were installed on 19th of July, 1971 at 40 North Beacon Street, Boston. When Srila Prabhupada- 1971.
1971, you said?
Yes. They were installed.
In Boston.
Yes, in Boston.
In
By Srila Prabhupada.
Boston.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada came to Boston on 18th July and 19th July, the installation of Shri Radha Gopala happened. Srila Prabhupada bathed himself to Shri Radha. He dressed Shri Radha Gopala. Yeah, he put different
name also?
He gave Radha Gopala not on that day, but after a few months, he gave that name to as Radha Gopala. Through letter, Srila Prabhupada gave the name. Because that time it was not, he didn't name Radha Gopala immediately. But devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, what are the names of the deities? And then Srila Prabhupada gave through mail that, okay, they will be called as Radha Gopi Vallabha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'm showing the picture of, I think Satsarup Maharaj is, I don't know, bathing the deities. Can you see? Gagandeep Saini's phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look very small then. This was on the 1971 picture.
Yes, this is all 1971. Can you show other picture of Srila Prabhupada dressing? Yeah, this is Prabhupada dressing the deities.
So
Devotees, if you have any questions, either you type or ask directly. It's a very rare time to have His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. So kindly please. Prabhu, one question. As a pujari, I mean, I know that we should serve, we should consider Shri Radha Gopala, like we should serve them in on reverence. But as a pujari, like with what mood we should actually serve the deities.
Sorry, we couldn't hear your question properly.
No, in what mood we should serve the deities?
In what mood should we serve the deities? That's the question.
when we enter the deity room, we enter the prayer basis is to that. And we ask his permission to enter the deity room to assist him in serving the deities. We're not going directly to serve the deities, but we're going as assistant to the guru who is serving the deity. Mahaprabhu has given us our identity. Naham Vipto Narapati. I'm not a Vaishya Sutra from sannyasi, grihastha. I don't identify myself with any of these. So what is this positive? I identify myself as the servant of the master of the gopis, Gopinath. So Gopinath is our Ishtadeva, is our worshipful Lord. So we're entering as the servant of the servant.
Yes.
And this is the proper mood we should enter into the deity. If you're talking of moods as in like in Raganuga Bhakti, then it doesn't really apply to deities in the temple. The deity in the temple is always worshipped with awe and reverence. Like we are practicing Vedic sadhana bhakti. So this is how we can approach the deity.
Okay. Prabhu, question from Induleka Devidasi. Hare Krishna Jananivas Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful class. What is important in serving deities? What is the most important in serving the deity?
Well, faith is the beginning, and faith is actually the only qualification we need. Strong faith. If we just have strong faith in the deity, that is the primary qualification. And the qualification for deity, for the deities, Standard Prabhupada said it should be, everything should be very, very clean. The deity room, temple, and everything should be punctual. He said these two main ingredients, punctuality and cleanliness. If you do those in your temple, then everything will automatically flourish. The cleanliness is maintained and the punctuality is maintained, make Krishna happy, then the temple will flourish. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, the second question from Indulekha Mataji. For the festival, how important is to be in time, or is more important to dress opulently? That means how important it is. We have is to be in time, or is more important to dress opulently.
More important to be on time during festivals, or is it more important to dress opulently?
Oh, if you need more time in festival, then that should be there. If you need the time, you can delay some things. It's understood when there's a festival, there can be a lot more things, a lot more cookings going on, a lot more flower decoration. It's understood it's going to be late. So you can either schedule work it out with the management. So we're going to change the schedule for the festival time. Hare Krishna.
how can we counteract like the offenses we make while doing the deity worship? I mean, because something which happen inadvertently while doing the deity worship.
Deity worship. Worship Shalagram Shila is one thing you can do, and another thing is worship Shalagram. Yeah, read chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You can do some Tulsi Seva. But the deity worship itself will counteract the offenses. So if the unknowing offenses, that can be counteracted simply by continuation of service. It's not that we have to perform any like that. The service itself is a greater prize. But anyway, there shouldn't be any offenses. It's a good experience. There's something else. I think Bhagavatam. Yeah, read Bhagavatam. I'm Gita of the chapter of each. Worship Telegram. There's another one. No, I can't remember. Hare Krishna.
Go ahead. I'm Chandru. Go ahead, ask the question.
Hare Krishna, no, please accept my obeisances. I have a question to ask. For Grihastha devotees who have deities at home, and then they also go to the temple where there are deities, where they take regularly darshan, right, few times a week. So what kind of relationship does the Grihastha devotee have with the home deities and with the deities in the temple? How is it different, and what is similarities?
What is the relationship? I have a home duty and there's a temple duty. What is the similarity and difference between the two?
Yeah, the difference is that in the temple, everything is scheduled around the deity's service. So it's all centered around the deity, what time he wakes up, what time he goes to sleep. Everything there is geared for the for the deity's schedule, for the deity's pleasure. And in the home, everything is centered around the Grihastha schedule. In the temple, everything is revolving around Krishna's schedule. In the home, everything is revolving around the Grihastha schedule. Because only when you wake up, the deity can wake up. Only when you cook, the deity can eat. So you can make your own schedule according to your time and facilities, expenses, and you can make your own program. And if you make your own program and follow it, it's good for your sadhana. But even if you can't maintain it, It's no offense to be regular, but you should try it for your own sadhana. For your own sadhana, you should know. It'd be good for your sadhana if you maintain it, but it's not offensive or anything like that. If the schedule gets put off, that's expected in the Grihastha ashram. You have to suddenly go out, meet people and things like that. So in the temple, everything is revolving around Krishna. In the home, everything revolves around the Grihastha. Huh?
What is the relationship one should have? The home deities and the temple deities.
Yeah, the relationship is that the temple deities are expansion. Your deities at home are expansions from the temple deities. That's the general understanding.
Thank you.
So that you can treat your yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jananivas, one question we have. Some devotees say that I'm not qualified to do deity worship, or they feel that even if they are Brahmana initiated, or they feel that I don't feel qualified to be on the altar. So how do we encourage them, or what is there is there any kind of a qualification which we should look for to be on the altar?
No, again, Rupa Goswami said that again, faith is the only qualification for blessing. You only need faith, and then that faith would expand. Yeah, the whole process of bhakti is sadhana bhakti is worked out by the three acharyas and Prabhupada. That it's like a built-in system of liberation in the you practice the rules and regulations according to the authorities, and that itself will be the agent for inspiring you. The service itself should be an inspiration. It's like in the Gayatri mantras, and you're offering respect to Guru or Gauranga, and with that word prachodaya means that person who enthuses me, impels me forward, gives me inspiration. So that person. So the whole process is you'll become inspired simply by applying it. You apply it, you will get the result. Yeah, is it getting through?
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful.
Hi, Krishna.
Yes, and we can hear it. Thank you. Prabhu, one question. If anyone has any questions, please ask. Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you, man. We can hear you, Prabhu. There's one question which is asked in the chat. If devotee having COVID spreads it unknowingly to the gurus, isn't it a big offense?
The question is, if a devotee who is having COVID, if he unknowingly spreads it to one of the gurus, is it a big offense?
No, it's not an offense. It's not an offense. He was doing seva for the guru. It could have been more precautions could have been taken. But you can't call it as an offense. He was serving his guru as best he could. Hare Krishna.
There's one more question. Hare Krishna, Jananivas. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. How do we know that our relationship is progressing further? Thank you.
How do we know that the relationship
How do you know you're hungry when you've just eaten? That is the answer. What's the question?
how can we know that our relationship with the deities is advancing?
Yes. Okay. How do we know what to do? How do you know you're not hungry when you're eating? When you're eating, I'm hungry. When you're eating, all the hunger will go. You don't have to analyze it or ask anyone. To follow the principles, the way Prabhupada set it up. And with the diminishing of the unwanted activities, it will be the rise of devotional activities. It's a built-in system in the by following the regular principles. It just automatically come. There's an example of Gagamuni Maharaj. And when the devotees were chanting the Prem Dhwani, Jayam Vishnu Pada, he didn't pay his obeisance fee. So the devotee said, you should pay your obeisances. Swamiji said, you should pay your obeisances when they're chanting this Prem Dhwani. And he said, Gagamuni said, he said, well, it doesn't feel natural to me. The bowing down, it just doesn't feel natural. So I think spiritual life should be something very natural. It shouldn't be unnatural. So therefore, I don't bow down. So it was a good argument. They're all new devotees. They didn't know. They said, let's ask Swamiji. So then they asked Srila Prabhupada. The Gagamuni said it doesn't feel natural. That's why it doesn't. You do it anyway. You give your obeisances anyway, and then the feeling will come. But if you don't practice it, the feeling will never come. If you put it into practice, then in time that feeling will come. It will feel proper. It will feel right. Hare Krishna. We've got a storm going on, rain, thunder, lightning.
Hi, this is Gagandeep again. I just want to show the last picture that I found, which you can see Srila Prabhupada's, the back of his head, and he's dressing Radharani. Before we saw Radharani up close with Prabhupada's hands.
Okay.
It's clear.
Who is that, Lucky Mataji? Right. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. There's one question which is there in the chat. Should we ask that?
No, it's very,
Okay.
it's very not a very good connection
Okay.
here.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand. Thank you, dear Prabhu. On behalf of entire ISKCON Boston, we appreciate for sparing time despite of your busy schedule and giving us your valuable association online and sharing some of your wonderful realizations and some stories, anecdotes from Mayapur. We really appreciate that. This is what we needed for celebrating our festival at ISKCON Boston. Thank you. Raj, we really, yeah. So again, once again, on behalf of entire ISKCON Boston, we would like to express our gratitude by loudly chanting Hari Bol. All devotees, please unmute yourself and express our gratitude to His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. Please.
Hari
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 Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hi, Radha Gopal Balava ki. Where
Jai
is
Hari Bol.
Abandamali Pandit?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Huh?
I can. Yes, Prabhu, I'm there. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Sorry, your voice is cutting.
Can we?
I could not hear your question.
We
Prabhu.
can't
Can
see you.
Oh, you can't see me. Me. Okay, hold on. Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
And now they got a black band in your eyes like a bandit. You are Abandamali?
Yes, I am Vanamali Panditas. Hare Krishna.
Abandamali Panditas. You're the
Yes,
president?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm serving.
Are you the
I'm a serv-
president? Okay.
Yes, I'm serving as a president. Yes.
Okay. Who was the other president in 19?
There were many devotees.
COV.
Okay, that was
Yeah, remember we came to the COVP?
yes. That time His Grace Pyari Mohan Prabhu, your god brother, he was
Huh?
temple president. Pyari Mohan Prabhu.
Okay, he's here.
He's in Hartford. Yeah, he was a
Where?
temple president.
Where is he? He's not here today.
No, he was supposed to be online. But unfortunately, he's not there. Let me see. He's not there. Yeah, but he'll be there on 18th. On the 8th, August 8th, he'll be coming in person from Hartford.
Anyway, give my pranam to him when you see him. I met
Yes.
him last time I was.
I will. He'll be watching this maybe in the evening, but I will personally give your.
Okay. Hi, Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare
Auranga.
Krishna.
Radha Madhav ki jai. Radha Gopi Chandra ki jai.
His Grace Jananivas Prabhu
Basti
ki.
Yatra ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Basti- Basti
Jai.
Bhakti ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Go
Jai.
Premanandi.
Jai.
Hari Bol.
Kalakanta.
Okay, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please don't leave. Giridhan Prabhu, would you like to announce the rest of the program? And tonight we have a very special guest. Please don't miss out. We have His Holiness Giriraj Swami, who has joined here at ISKCON Boston. He'll be speaking from California. I think around 3 o'clock his time and 7 p.m. EST our time. So please do join. So 7 to 8 p.m. And he's going to share his memories when he was in Boston. And then also he'll talk about some of the memories with Srila Prabhupada. And then next Sunday, we'll be having the devotees with us. We'll be having His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami on Saturday. And on Sunday, we'll be having His Holiness Niranjan Swami at 8 o'clock. And 10 o'clock, we'll be having His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And then at 5 o'clock, during the prime time, we'll have our most beloved, the first temple president, the pioneer of ISKCON Boston, who established this ISKCON Boston, His Holiness Satsarup Maharaj at 5 o'clock. Please do not miss out. And then that will be having 6 o'clock onwards, 6 to 6:30 we'll be having the Aarti, and 6:30 onwards we'll be having Abhishek. So please do join, spread the word, try not to miss out any part of our programs.